President Donald Jackamoff Trump isn't the only president to make a buck off the office or have some conflicts of interest. Most recently, we had the whole thing with Hunter Biden allegedly using his dad's influence as vice president to obtain more favorable deals with foreign companies. However, there wasn't any actual proof of that. Obama had a little controversy too. Coming into office in 2008, reporters uncovered a mortgage scandal involving a below-market interest loan that the future president received as a U.S. senator. But the Federal Election Commission found no foul play since that interest rate was available to other customers and businesses. Another Obama enrichment controversy involved investments made in a blind trust that put money into companies backed by a top Obama political donor. But because these investments were made by a financial broker, Obama had no knowledge of where that money was going. In theory. Also, everything I just said is adorable now. And even in those tame examples, they weren't literally the president when it happened. Because most of the time, the president is expected to refrain from running side gigs while they are president because of the obvious conflicts of interest. It's just not something they did in the past. I mean, except for Garfield. He got his face on everything, it seems. It's weird. We elected a fictional cat in the first place, but I guess we were more progressive back then, you know? R.I.P. woke. So let's dive in that Trump hole, a phrase I immediately regret using, but will continue to use. And to start getting us off in the Trump hole, I want to highlight how Trump used to make his money before getting elected, because that's actually going to be important.
The Sharper Image is one of my favorite stores with fantastic products of all kinds. That's why I'm thrilled they agree with me. Trump steaks are the world's greatest steaks, and I mean that in every sense of the word. And the Sharper Image is the only store where you can buy them.
Boy, as an aside, he is a terrible performer. Come on, Don, put a little emotion into it. These are your steaks, man! People talk about Trump steaks a lot, but they're actually very important for understanding Trump as a salesman. Starting with the fact that he sold freaking steak at Sharper Image of all places. For our younger viewers, Sharper Image was a semi-fancy gadget store that was basically Spencer's Gifts for the upper middle class. Also for our younger viewers, Spencer's Gifts is a shop at the mall that sells silly tchotchkes and blacklight posters, a proto-Hot Topic that had lava lamps and mugs shaped like a boob. Also, a mall was like a physical version of Amazon that you could eat soft pretzels in. Oh, and the middle class was this third class between dirt poor and having all the money ever. What I'm getting at is that Sharper Image wasn't a place to buy food, let alone perishable food. But it was a brand that was superficially associated with luxury. Not actual luxury, but the cheap Disney cruise version of luxury, which is, of course, what the Trump brand also is. Because that was the Trump method. Take a cheap thing, slap the Trump name on it, and say it's the most bestest version of that thing because you, the definitely rich and successful guy, you know what bestest things are. And then you slap a higher price tag on it, let gullible people buy it, and when it eventually or immediately fails, you grab as much money as you can and run. You know, like a grift. Extra points if you don't pay anyone along the way, like contractors or venues for your events or charities you're fundraising for. Point is, you sell crap, whether it be steak or an education, for way more than it's worth, and then you get out of there. Donald Trump has, since the start, simply been selling his name. And not even really his name. Like back in the 1980s and 1990s, Trump amassed large amounts of debt by buying up casinos, real estate, mega yachts, and even an airline. He did that by convincing friendly banks that he was as much of a moneymaker as his father, Fred Trump. He was a Nepo baby, which is fine. We love some of our Nepo babies. Look at Jack Quaid. He's a fine young man. But basically, Donald Trump was able to fail again and again because his father had tied their name to success, which eventually he himself would be able to do as well. Because if you can't actually be a successful salesman, well, you can play one on TV.
Sir, it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Donald Trump.
Don said his client had a rich uncle, but Donald Trump.
I like keeping a low profile.
See, the joke is that he absolutely doesn't like to keep a low profile. During the 90s, whenever a TV show or movie needed a rich guy character, they would often just use Donald Trump, who loved to play himself in anything he'd be allowed in. This included, but wasn't limited to, the brief superhero series Nightman.
I want you to call this bank and tell them they're about to have a very special guest.
What do you think?
Unbelievable.
Man, TV sucked. You could call this vanity, because it is, but this was actually really smart branding for Trump. He essentially made himself the shorthand for a rich guy. Oh, and I'm gonna marry Donald Trump, says the sarcastic diehard character. Instead of actually being super rich and successful, he became a mascot for being rich and successful. A Monopoly guy, Scrooge McDuck, Richie Rich, the Ronald McDonald of luxury. Donald McDonald. A walking sharper image for upper middle class people to admire and actual rich people to ignore. And he slapped that name on everything like the aforementioned steaks, but also vodka and dietary supplements. And to really illustrate this, Trump even licensed his name and image for a series of luxury condos and hotel developments, without actually investing his own money or being in charge of building them. What I mean is that while Trump could throw out some design ideas or help with the marketing or show up at events, he wasn't actually the official developer for these specific hotels and condos. Really think about that. Trump, the man who is supposed to be this expert on hotels and luxury, wasn't actually the person in charge of building these units, but rather the Mickey Mouse mascot being slapped on the ads. Because he's not actually good at that stuff. It's like one of those celebrity chef restaurants. If the celebrity chef didn't know how to cook and did like hate crimes. It's like Wahlburgers. I could have just said it's like Wahlburgers. And of course, once the 2000s hit, Trump found a brand new way to spread this false image of success. The one place anyone can thrive regardless of talent. Trump hosted The Apprentice on the failing NBC until 2015, when he was fired for being racist about Mexican immigrants, which will be great foreshadowing in whatever biopic Adam McKay comes up with. This is all to say that there's a clear through line here for Trump simply using the name Trump to make money without having proven that his name is actually associated with profit, which I guess it is, because it worked. It's a paradox, you see. The name Trump makes money because Trump makes money because the name Trump makes money. And then people voted for him because Trump makes money. Again, it's not stupid, but it's also very stupid. The grift is brazen, but surprisingly effective, like shoplifting in a hazmat suit. And there's a very good chance that running for president was simply another effort to boost his then failing brand without Trump actually thinking he'd win. Well, congratulations, it worked, and now we're all in the Trump hole. There's spiders in there. So it's only natural that Trump would use the presidency as a way to boost his brand. It's actually the least surprising thing he's done. And yet, even less surprising is him using it for hotels and apartments and other constructions. Just like he did with those condos I mentioned, Trump's name is mostly used as a label for other companies to license, including foreign governments and investors that are developing large-scale hotels and luxury properties. The Trump Organization has at least 5 real estate deals with Saudi real estate company Dar Global, one of which, Trump International Oman, is partnered with Oman state-owned tourism group, promising investors both hands-off investment expertly managed by Trump to generate income on top of lifetime residency visas. This is along with developments in Dubai, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. The New Yorker estimates that these licensing and management deals being made in the Gulf are bringing in a minimum of $105 million. Vietnam also struck a deal with Trump to build $1.5 billion luxury golf courses and hotels. And while that's all well and good for Trump, the scammy business mascot, I probably don't have to stress that this is a president now. It is the United States president, now the mascot of the Republican Party, being used as an international brand while he's the president. I know it seems normal now, I guess, since Trump is a TV real estate guy and has been president once before, and nobody seems to be willing or able to stop him from doing all of these things that are obviously weird for a president to do. But it's very weird. It's abnormal, actually, for a president to be developing all of these opulent resorts overseas in order to curry favor with others, or to allow others to curry favor with him, or to generally enrich himself. It's so weird that right now there are protests in Serbia over a project being developed by a company linked to the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. He's just Trumpifying our government, like literally redoing the White House in his tacky brand image, putting out shitty AI videos like this.
Here, Trump gods are shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump gods are number one. Trump gods are shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump gods are number one.
Hey! No.